Very briefly, maybe you could describe that you've come here from Sydney and we've spent however many days, and maybe some things that you've done in the past, like you've explained to me over the last few days, something why they perhaps haven't worked and why you've found this useful, or what you've witnessed this week.
Where do I begin? Well, obviously I found out about you, a long journey, a lot of Googling, searching, reading different books, came across, after seeing YouTube video, came across you, read your book, then went on to read more books from reference from your book, and discovered the polyvagal theory, which resonated and made sense. That I've known for a long time that the body is affected, and we've been probably from the very beginning addressing it from top down, from the mind, from cognitively. Doctors have been useful, psychologists have been useful in telling us that we need to change the behaviour, change the reaction to the anxiety, but none of that was really helpful because we couldn't change the behaviour because the anxiety was always there. So cognitive behaviour therapy, addressing changing the behaviours that were causing the anxiety, it was a cycle. We were caught in a cycle, sort of stuck there, knew that something was wrong. The body would become very, very heightened. The body would be in an alert, a fight or flight. We knew, psychologists would describe we're in the fight or flight, we're even in immobilisation, and to understand cognitively what was happening. But the anxiety would kick in, and then frustration would come that we couldn't actually change it. We couldn't change the behaviour. But switching off and just thinking about the body and feeling what's happening in my body, that we've discovered in the sessions, that we've been here for 4 sessions now with you, it just makes sense. And it's amazing to hear him talk about his body and that he can feel things in his body. Because I've observed in him when he becomes very tense and heightened sensory to everything around him, being bombarded, he isn't even aware that that's happening in his body. He will come home from school and it's like he's functioning, but not until later in the night it just all comes out. It's almost like it's a pressure cooker, and the pressure cooker has built up and built up and built up, and then it is exploding. The body just has to release what's happened all day long. And now we know we need to work on the body and not the mind, bottom up, not top down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And what have you seen in him, or just even over the last few days, that makes you feel like it's going to be useful?
Number one, he likes it. He doesn't feel threatened. He seems relaxed. It's amazing. There's not this resistance. The big thing we experience with everything is resistance, avoidance, procrastination, backing right off from anything, seeming frightened all the time, that there's a threat there, even when there really isn't. With this, he hasn't seemed to have registered there's any threat. And from the very beginning, he didn't resist the hand therapy, the balls. He just did it without avoidance, which is amazing. Everything else, there's avoidance, even though he doesn't want to avoid. With this, I haven't seen any avoidance. In fact, of a night when we went home, after doing the session with you, he would ask me, can we do it? And then would feel bad if he was too tired not to do it. So that's a big difference. The other thing is, he does seem more relaxed. And I can see after the session, he looks at me and he smiles instead of a grimace. The normal state of him, recently particularly, is always a grimace and always whining and always catastrophizing and always thinking everything bad around him. Things are bad, everything's bad. What's next thing's going to hit me? He isn't doing that as much. Yesterday was the happiest I've seen him in ages. I don't know, it's just because we're on holiday. And I hope we can keep doing that.